Yes. Good evening. It is match day. We are here with Henry Wright TV and Henry Wright from Henry Wright TV. Henry Wright, how are you?
Henry Wright is good. Yeah,
Good.
I'm good. I'm looking forward to tonight's game. If we get to see some good football from Man City, and
are you?
And yeah, the rest of it is just 19 days through, no players through the door. Shambles, tough, mate. Shambles.
It's tough, mate. It's tough. Before we get going, welcome to everyone in the chat. Hope you're well. We've already seen lots of comments in there, Henry, from lots of people. We'll try and get through as many comments throughout the evening as we can. We will be going live until about 6:30 tonight. Then after that, please jump on for a 7:30 watch along. I believe 7:30 with Henry. And then I'll be joining Henry for that until 8. Then I'll join him at half-time. And then we will have a show on Henry's channel afterwards to talk about the 4 or 5 goals that Haaland scored. Henry, look, before we get to tonight, we've got a while. Before we get to tonight, it's another day, mate. I know we did a video earlier, but it's another day where Chelsea again, they've just signed, or they're literally signing up the deal for one of our ex-players. Don't know how to pronounce his name, Madwiki, whatever his name is.
Madwiki, I think it's pronounced. 40 million as well, by the way, that is, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. Marshall, I'm absolutely fine. Savva chat shit is absolutely fine today. How are you, my friend? How are you, Marshall Kagami? Henry, they're also in talks with Moises Caicedo of Brighton. And Arsenal has signed Trossard, 20 million plus 7 million add-ons. Danny Ings has gone to Aston Villa. Chris Wood's gone on loan to Nottingham Forest. Forest signed Danilo yesterday, one of the 95 Danilos out there in world football. Mate, what on earth is going on? We are 19 days into a window. What is going on?
Well, it's shambles, isn't it? Just quickly, on that Noni Madueke, it's 35 million euro package. So that would mean in the last 5 days, they've done 100 million euro on, I can't remember what his name is, Mudryk, and 35 million on Madueke, and now they're looking at Caicedo. So you think next season, once all these players have gelled under Potter or a new coach, you throw in Vardiel, you throw in Nkunku, it's practically near on impossible for us to win anything now. It is, because we don't invest, and our team's nowhere near good enough.
We've missed the opportunity, my man. We missed the opportunity. Look, we've had years and years of windows where we say, right, we've got to do it this window. We don't, and then fans give the free pass, don't they? Well, next window's the window. Oh,
well, do you think the owners are going to change this window? In answer to your question, what's going on? I'm not going to give the owners any credit because I never do, but there is starting to be some moves for players, right? The fact that we bid I think it's laughable, right? Brighton have said £30 million is the asking price for a player with 18 months left on his contract. I don't think that's bad at all. And Arsenal have met the payment in the same day, and the deal's wrapped up in the same day. Meanwhile, we bid 12 million, right, which is not even half the asking price. We're looking at Zaniolo. For some reason, we've got to do a loan with an obligation to buy. That just tells me they're worried if Conte leaves, he can go back to Roma. And Pedro Porro, apparently tomorrow, there's scheduling for new talks, and Levy wants the deal wrapped up tomorrow. So we could be 20 days in with only one player through the door. And let's be honest, he might not even come. So you might be 20 days through the window, and we're the only club in the Big Six besides Man United that haven't signed a player yet. Liverpool signed Gakpo. Man City have signed a youngster. Not that they need anyone because they've got the best squad in Europe. Arsenal have signed Trossard. Chelsea have signed about 5 players. What are we doing? What are we actually doing? Like, we are in turmoil, right? Harry Kane leaving the club, let's be honest. What's the replacement going to be? Like, if you're Trossard, right, and you've got Tottenham and you've got Arsenal on the table, what is the pull to go to Tottenham? What's sitting there and you're thinking, right, I want to join Tottenham because what?
But this is the thing, Henry. This is what happens when you delay deals, right? Let's be fair. When we had the bid in for Trossard, Arsenal was still in for Mudryk. So if Spurs had put the 20 million pounds, by the way, 7 million is going to be add-ons. So if Spurs had put down the 20 million, you get your guy because Arsenal aren't bidding for him. They're going for Mudryk. However, Arsenal don't get Mudryk. What do? Do they sulk? No. 3 days later, right, we'll have Trossard. Now, I'm not comparing Trossard and Mudryk, but Arsenal now, as you said this to me earlier, you look at Arsenal, their favoured front three is Martinelli, Saka, and Jesus. Then you chuck into it Nketiah, who's scoring goals. Callum Smith-Rowe. Is it Callum?
No, Emil Smith-Rowe.
Where do I get Callum from? Emil Smith-Rowe.
Hey, Callum Wilson, by the way.
Right. Emil Smith-Rowe, Trossard. You've got that young Vieira coming through there, that young Marquinhos. Right? You look at this and you go, they're a club trying. They know what they want. They know what they're doing. And these are our biggest rivals who we finished in front of last year. We finished in front of them. You've got Chelsea going out. And yeah, look, I'm not saying we should spend Chelsea money, but we let this bloke go 3 years ago, didn't we?
Look at Brighton, right? Look at Brighton. They've lost, I said to you earlier, they've lost Ben White, Trossard, and Bissouma. They're three best players. If we lose Harry Kane, Romero, and Heung-min Son, where do we go? They've brought in the Japanese left-sided winger for a Trossard's replacement, £3 million. £3 million, and he looks a top player, right? They've brought in Veltman to replace Ben White, and they've shuffled around their defence. They've even changed manager, and they look better. They look better for it.
On top of that, see, this is the thing. When you actually dig deep, I just watched an interview with Adam Lallana, right? And honestly, it was really refreshing because they were like, Adam, how are you going to cope without Trossard? And listen, this is an experienced player. He went, we'll be fine. He went, we'll be fine. He said, we lost Ben White. He said, we lost Neil Maupay. He said, we lost Bissouma. We lost Cucurella, who was our player of the year last year. We lost Dan Burn, right? They just keep going out. They keep finding these gems from wherever they find them from. They'll sell it. What did they pay for Moises Caicedo? If someone can find that in the chat.
He was a free transfer. He's on £3,000 a week. He's the lowest paid Premier League player across the entire Premier League, and he's about to get a move to Chelsea. And you think right now, look at everyone around us. Wolves have spent £80 million. West Ham have signed Danny Ings. Where the hell's that come from? He's played for about 15 Premier League clubs. He's played for Burnley, Liverpool, Southampton, West Ham, Villa. That's only just off the top of my head. Bournemouth. When he at Bournemouth? He weren't at Bournemouth, was he?
Anyway, God knows. He's played Southampton. I don't know. He's played everywhere. But look, let's bring this to what we're doing, right? Let's see what we know is definite this window. We know for a fact this window that we've had a £12 million bid rejected for Trossard. Arsenal added £8 million to that and they've got him, right? We know that we've had multiple bids for Pedro Porro turned down because unlike every other club in the Premier League, we can't just go, right, how much do you want? Oh, his release clause is 45 million euros. No, we go, why don't we give you 35 million euros and one of our awful defenders that we do not want?
That we paid £45 million for.
Right. So then you look at it. We know that we've had a bid rejected in the last 48 hours for a loan deal for Zaniolo, who I like as a footballer, Henry. But as we saw today, in the last 3 years, he's missed 90. What did we work it out as? 93?
93 or 94 days. And bearing in mind, like, technically, he's really good. He's really good player technically.
Yeah.
His final third or end of product, I saw Toby talking about this earlier. His end product is awful. Well, it's not awful, but it's not great. And you think, right, in a four at the back formation, if we played a 4-3-3 and he was like our cam, and you had Basuma and Benson, Core, Højbjerg on the bench, and then a front three of Richarlison, Son, and Kulu, it'd be fine. But where does he play? Because we might not even be in the Champions League next season. We might not even be in Europe next season. Where does he play? Like, or does he go right wing back?
Mate, I don't know. I mean, look, listen, do you know what? I truly believe, I really like Zaniolo as a talent. But again, you're looking at a real injury-prone guy that we're not even, well, like you said earlier, is it that we're not willing to pay £35 million for this guy? Or is it that this is someone Conte wants, so they won't buy him long-term because they know that Conte won't be here next year.
They did the same thing with Kulusevski. It's just fortunate for Kulusevski in Tottenham. It worked out. Tottenham now, we are the only club in the Premier League that we don't look at buying players. We do loans with options or obligations to buy. You look at it, Romero, loan. Kulusevski, loan. Bentancur, there was going to be a loan, then they made it permanent for 17 million. Why can't we just go, right, what's the asking price? 30 mil, job done.
Yeah,
We've just broken, what was the news outlet today? That said we're the 9th richest club. Deloitte. Yeah, we're the 9th richest club now in terms of revenue generated, and we're looking at loaning players.
Mate, I mean, look, this comment sums it up for me, Henry. Yeah, we could have. Peter, we absolutely could have had Porro and Trossard lining up tonight for us. And instead, one of them's going to be playing for Arsenal at the weekend, maybe. And the other one, I mean, if you're Porro, right? If you're Porro, Henry, are you sitting there thinking, Jesus, these guys, do they want me? Like, how can we not go and whack down? I think it works out as someone clever in the chat, £36 million or something it is in conversion. I mean, look, clearly Conte can't want him enough, or the club don't want him.
It's Levy. Conte likes the player, apparently. He suits his formation because he's a wing back.
Yeah.
Loads of sporting fans are disappointed, apparently, to see him go. He'll be replaced, though. They'll just churn someone out their academy like they always do. But the problem is we've now got, 11, 12 days left of this window, and we're still fucking around. If we lose tonight, this is what in my opinion, this is what I think will happen, right? I'm going to set out a scene to you hypothetically. We get absolutely pumped tonight, 3 or 4-0.
Mm-hmm.
Conte comes out and in the press conference says, maybe I'm not a good enough manager, we think. Or he goes mad at the board. The board will do a panic buy. It'll either be pay the release clause for Pedro, which is not a panic buy, but they'll do something to counteract his shot towards the board. Right? Mm-hmm. So they'll go out and say, there's the 36 million quid or whatever it is for Pedro Porro. Then they'll agree. It'll be a random player out of nowhere. It won't be Zaniolo. It'll be someone out of absolutely nowhere. Basuma happened. There was no links. It was just done. Like West Ham with Danny Ings. There was no links. It was just done. We'll sign a player. Then everyone will start getting excited. Oh, we've signed a couple of players, We'll go and get a result at Fulham. Right? We'll get to the back end of the window before the City game. We'll all be throwing our toys at the pram because nothing's happened. We'll then get pumped by City again, and he'll then really come out and attack the board. And just I don't know if you've heard, right? I'm going to call out the club for something because this is a disgrace. Have you heard they've taken down the Spurs Cyprus flag?
Yeah. I've seen it.
So the Supporters Trust have contacted the club and said, why have you done that? Apparently...
Is anything at this club right? From a football perspective, I don't mean that we've got this world-class stadium that can host... No,
we've got... It's awful. Right. We've got the best stadium in the league. But when you look at personnel, if you take out Kane... Okay, let me put it better to you, right? Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, Man United and Arsenal. How many of those players out of our 1 to 11 would improve their teams besides Harry Kane based on this season? Heung-min Son doesn't get in any of their 11s. Maybe Chelsea because they've been shit as well, and Liverpool. Don't get in Arsenal. Don't get United.
I still don't think he's. I listen. For as bad as those teams have been, I still don't think he gets in. I think honestly, I think Heung-min Son. If everybody didn't know, right? If anybody didn't know anything about football and had watched Heung-min Son this season, right? Not anybody is talking about him being a good player. He has been shocking. Now, there's some players at Spurs that are just shocking, right? But this guy we know is not shocking, but has been. And at what point do you say,
enough's enough?
When's the tide going to turn? Like, we talk about credit in the bank. Big clubs don't give these players that credit. We don't do that.
Anyone I can think about who's had a terrible season and he's still at the club would be someone like Eden Hazard.
Yeah.
But Real Madrid have got an arsenal of Benzema, Vinny Jr., Rodrigo, Valverde who plays up there. They've got talent all over the pitch. We don't. So when Son's not performing, we're sitting there going, what the hell's going on?
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is, Son for me has been dreadful, but isn't even the issue at this club. Do you know what I mean? Like in any other year, you'd
It's
be
a collective
going,
of issues, isn't it? Everything's
right.
just not going right. But the problem is, when eventually Conte goes, right, and Kane goes, what's going to be the attraction at this club? Because we won't be in the Champions League. You won't be able to play next to Harry Kane. You won't have Conte as manager.
Is Conte an attraction?
I think he is. Because players will look at it. The football might be shit. The football might be shit. But I think he is an attraction. Because when you look at footballing CV-wise, right, in terms of England, on paper, he's more... I think before this season, if you're saying to me, would a player rather play under Arteta or Conte? Before this season, I think they choose Conte. Now it's a different kettle of fish. I think now they go, look what Arsenal are doing.
Doesn't that all depend on the style of play you are? Like, let's be really, really honest. If you're a player like Mudryk, right, do you want to play for Antonio Conte? Let's be honest. Some players...
No, maybe not Mudryk, but someone like a player like Casemiro would do well on a Conte system.
For sure. Of course. Yeah, of course. Look, listen.
Comes down to personnel, doesn't it?
I've said it all. I've said it for years and years. Scrap the whole thing. Kane, Son, Romero, Lloris, Kulu, the director of football. Get rid of all the fringe players. Get rid of the head of the academy. Get rid of the doctors, owners, director, manager. The whole thing stinks. There is nothing. And this is why, Henry, I know that people don't ever want to hear it. When I sit and say, Conte's not for me, but yes, he's a winner. Conte is just the right manager at the wrong club. Right?
Just on Son quickly, sorry to interrupt you. He might not even be starting tonight.
It's no loss.
Son is not fully fit ahead of tonight's fixture. Remains to be seen if he will start tonight's game. Son didn't train at all yesterday.
I'm not even bothered, mate. I mean, what does he do?
Who plays there, though? We can't go against Man City with fucking Brian Hill. Oh, no, it'll be Richarlison.
Well, do you remember what I said to you today? I mean, I'll tell you what, let's have... I'll bring this chat up.
3-5-2. Kulu and Cam, Kane and Richarlison. I'd much rather that.
Right. So, everyone in the chat, do me a favour. Put in the comments, how much possession do you think Spurs will have tonight? I think Henry went a bit higher than me. What did you go for, Henry?
I said between 25 and 35.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 28%.
Do you remember what I went for?
21, wasn't it?
I went for 21%. I genuinely believe that the way we play football, I think we might have like the lowest recorded possession in world.
2 shots, 2 goals, lose 4-2.
Yeah. Oh, mate. Listen, I know it's not all about possession. It's strange because I'm almost numb to the game tonight. Like, as fans, we should be sitting here going, oh, my God, how excited are you for Man City away, the champions of England away? But instead, we're all sitting here going, well, what's happening to the club? How have Wolves spent 80 million?
It's ambition. Look at West Ham in the summer. West Ham spent £170 million plus the 15 million they've just spent. That's 185 million. I don't know if you've seen Jacobs Ben has put, he's the one who broke the news about Basuma. Spurs made a verbal bid of 12 million for Lisandro Trossard, hoping for a cut price deal. But Brighton laughed the deal off the table.
Well, I mean,
that's fucking embarrassing.
It's terrible. It's terrible. And still, how many people defend Levy? Do you know what I'd love to do? Is anyone in the chat, Levy or ENIC in, that wants to come on and talk to me and Henry? Levy and ENIC in. There's no point us bringing in Levy and ENIC outers. Yeah? Anyone who's Levy and ENIC in and wants to put forward an argument as to why you want them still at this club. Just quickly, Brian Daigle has just tweeted this. He sent it to me. He said, Chelsea are bang out of order. That happened so quickly that we didn't even get time to register our interest, to monitor the situation, to verbally agree to talk, to put in an offer way short of valuation. Shame on you, Chelsea. Shame on you. It's just ridiculous, Henry. Absolutely ridiculous.
I want to ask everyone in the chat, right? Besides Romero, how many of our players do you think could do well in a back four? Now, we know Doherty predominantly is a wing back. Perisic is a winger being converted to a wing back.
Longley.
Yeah. Ben Davies.
Longley played in a back four for Barcelona and Seville. So, you know.
Okay, it's Longley and Romero. So we've got 2 centre backs. Who would your fullbacks be? It surely have to be Davies, wouldn't it?
I'd have Ben Davies because do you know what? One thing we can always say about Ben Davies, you know what you're going to get. Do you know what I mean?
You're going to get a 6 or a 7 out of 10 every week.
Fuck it. Stick Eric Dyer at right back.
Played there before. Got no place. He'd be getting skinned every week.
Or God forbid, have we not got a single young player coming through who plays at the back? Have we not? Is there not a young left back or a right back at this club that we can go, you know what? You've won the lottery. Come on, you're going to get 5 games at left back or right back. But, hang on, what do you mean the Roma deal is off? What do you mean? When was it on? When was it on? I don't remember. Dave Clark said 27.9% possession, 18.7 of that will be in our own half. Of that, I have no doubt. For me, though, Henry, tonight's result changes nothing either way. Whether we get battered or whether we scrape a win or draw, nothing changes for me. One result doesn't change things. And what will happen, I know, is if we do manage to get a result of some sort, we will get, oh my God, Levy and ENIC out in the mud, blah, 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 blah. Anyone, Levy in, anyone.
How much money do you think Chelsea have spent since Todd Bowley took over?
How much have Chelsea spent?
Yeah. And this is net spend as well, because they haven't sold anyone. Who have Chelsea sold since Bowley come in?
Pass, yeah. 428 million.
Good. How much do you reckon? Let us know in the chat. How much do you reckon Chelsea have spent since Todd Bowley took over? To put it into perspective, they've spent 190 million this window. He's playing fucking Monopoly, isn't it? He's just playing Monopoly.
And how much fun must it be? And you know what? Our fans that are really silly will go, yeah, but where are they? And they will not see. They have
spent £460 million net. To put that into perspective, in the last 9 years, Tottenham have spent 495 net. So he, in 2 windows, has spent near the same amount we have in 18 windows. If that's not an excuse to be Levy out, then I do not care.
They have sold some players. They sold Timo Werner for 20 million. Emerson.
I don't think that was under Bowley, though, was it? I think that was under Abramovich.
So this would have been in the summer.
So that might have been either before or after he took over. So they've sold Timo Werner, right?
They sold Timo Werner, Emerson, Billy Gilmore. They got an 8 million loan fee for Lukaku, 3.5 million for Michy Batshuayi, sorry. 500k for Kennedy.
500k?
500k for Kennedy. Listen, every penny counts, Henry. Every penny counts. Let's just see. I'm just going to see if they sold the window. So the window before, they actually did. So the window before, right, they actually made a profit in the transfer market. So the window before, they sold Tammy Abraham for 40 million, Kurt Zuma for 35, Tamori for 31, Zappacosta for 6, Moses for 5, Giroud for 2.8. And so they sold 124 million and bought for 118. And of that 118, 113 of it was all on one player, Henry. Lukaku.
Fucking shambles, isn't it?
Oh, mate, listen. Do you know what? Look, I truly believe once they get going, and I'm not going to turn this into a Chelsea show. As I've said to you, I showed you the other day at work. Look at the 11 players they've got out injured. When you look at Fofana, Chilwell, Reece James, N'Golo Kante, right? You've now got oh my God, what's his name? Yao Felix is out for 2 more games. You know, now they've got Mudryk.
Chilwell's out as well.
Yeah, mate, listen, honestly, they'll be fine. So when people go, oh, look at them, they'll be absolutely fine.
Have you seen even the women's Spurs team's not doing too well either, and either is the under-21s Tottenham team. So collectively as a club at the moment, we're shit.
What is good at this club?
If we lose tonight, can we drop down a position in the table?
Shall I bring up the league table?
Yeah, bring up the league table.
Let's bring up the Premier League table so everyone can have a look. Premier League table. So, Premier League table. Here we go. The Premier League. Present the screen. Share the screen.
Put the crowd will get more touches of the ball than us.
Yeah, listen. Share screen. There we are. Can you see that? Hang on, let me focus that in a bit more. So,
zoom in a tiny bit.
Can you see that better?
Yeah, just zoom in a little bit more if you can.
Hey, mate, I'm not here for you. Jesus, I'm not here to do what you say. Just quickly, I can't actually. So, Spurs are on 33 points. No, we can't drop a place. But if we lose today, we'll be 3 points above Brighton and they'll have 2 games in hand on us.
And if we lose against Fulham on Monday, they'd overtake us.
Yeah. If we lose against Fulham, they'll overtake us. And then we've got Man City again after that. So
shambles.
Yeah, it's not good. Listen, it's I just don't know where we go from here, right? I really don't know where we go. We've got a couple of super chats. Let's read those out. Francis, big up yourself, has said, I thought we were signing Trossard. I think we all thought that, but 20 million apparently is too much for the 9th richest club in world football. It's crazy. And Pete from North London here says the crowd will get more touches of the ball than us. Pete, do you know what? It's sad but true, isn't it? Even if we win tonight, you know it's just going to be bloody awful to watch, don't you, Henry? You just know it.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough watch. These sort of games benefit us a little bit more because we're awful on the ball and we're kind of better at counter-attacking. But, you know, if we lose tonight, that will be... Conte would have only won how many out of his last 10 games? Is it 5?
Hang on. Aditya would like to come on StreamYard. This is the very same Aditya, Henry. You remember yesterday trying to mug me off, not thinking I was watching Stell's channel? You remember?
Yeah.
This Aditya that said Savva is the biggest hypocrite on planet Earth. Not just in the Spurs fan base, Henry. Planet Earth. Aditya, why do you want to come on? Let me know in the chat. I hear this a lot, Henry. We'll probably turn up tonight. Let me ask you a question. What does turning up mean? And when did we last turn up for a game?
Get a result, he means. And we haven't beaten a good side this season.
Isn't it?
We haven't beaten Brentford. We haven't beaten Newcastle. We haven't beaten Arsenal in both games. We haven't beaten Man United. We haven't beaten Chelsea. We haven't beaten Liverpool. If we win tonight, it's not because we're good. It's because Man City were not at it. Pep's going to change his defence up right tonight. You saw Akanji, you saw Ake, you saw Cancelo, and you saw who was the other one in their back four against Man United? Walker.
Yeah.
Right. No, hang on. It might have been Rico. Tonight, he'll play, if they're fit, he'll play Stones, he'll play Rico Lewis. He'll switch things up completely. And let's be honest, if you were Pep Guardiola, you would say, just go at them. Just run at them. They don't do anything for the first half, so just run at them. Take a few long shots at Lloris because he can't catch anything. Haaland in the box is going to dominate Dyer.
Oh,
Haaland, sure. We will sit, this is the way we'll set up. We'll be sitting so deep, our back line will basically be on our penalty area. And then our 4 in midfield will basically be about 5 yards in front. And then our front 3 will be about 10 yards in front of that. And you'll have the 2 centre-backs of Man City. The full-backs will be so wide up the pitch to stretch it, Cancelo and Rico Lewis, or whoever it is, Kyle Walker and Cancelo, or Kyle Walker and Lewis, right? The pitch will be so wide, they'll just stretch us.
Yeah.
And if we play Ryan Sessegnon in this game, we're automatically going to lose. We've got to go Perisic tonight.
Listen, I think tonight could be a hammering.
We haven't had a hammering under Conte.
I know we haven't, but I can feel it tonight. Just quickly, there's 440 of you in the chat, so welcome to every single one of you. Please, please, please join Henry for his watch along at 7:30. Join us after that. I'm sure that will probably be busier than the watch along. No offense, Henry, it will. The after match show with
me. Yeah, when we've been pumped and everyone's fucking taking the piss out of us, it probably will be. Yeah.
Yeah, me, Henry, Stell. What I would say, there's 440 of you. Please, can we stop being like Daniel Levy? There's only 99 likes, which means that less than 23% of you, quick maths, Vorderman up there, have, I could be lying, it could be 22%, but less than 23% of you have pressed the like button. Also, please help me out, guys and girls. I am 104 subscribers away from 3K. I remember saying to Henry, when I set this channel up in April, if I can end the year on 2.5K, I'll be happy. We've smashed that. Can you help me get to 3K? That's 104 of you to subscribe. And please make sure you don't just subscribe to me, subscribe to my man, Henry Wright. He is chasing down, what, the 10K?
Yeah, we just hit 9K
Boom.
this weekend. And yeah, we're pushing 10K now. So if anyone subscribes, it is greatly appreciated.
Bang. Absolutely. So let's talk about tonight then. Let's talk about team, the actual team. Henry, I must have said this about 95 times watching. Well, probably not. I don't think Conte's managed that many games, but I feel like I say it week in, week out. Against Man City, against De Bruyne, Rodri, and either Gundogan or Silva, we cannot go with two men. And it cannot be Højbjerg and Sarr, can it?
For me tonight, I think he'd go I would go 3-5-2. I'd put Kulu in at cam, Richarlison and Kane up front, drops onto the bench, go Perisic and Doherty, and go a back three of Davis, Longley, and Romero. Longley in the middle, Davis on the left, Romero on the right. And I would just tell Doherty and Perisic, get as far at that pitch as you can to spread it, to counteract Man City, and R3 to try and do their best they can against their three. The difference is Man City, we will not be able to deal with Man City's energy the same way we couldn't deal with Arsenal's energy. We won't be able to deal with the intensity of the game. They will dominate our midfield because we will be focusing on so much on De Bruyne. And then when Foden doesn't work, they'll just bring on Grealish. Fucking who's the other winger?
Mahrez.
Yeah, when Mahrez doesn't work, they'll bring on Alvarez. Mahrez, by the way, he's going to fucking terrorise us tonight.
The worst thing is, Henry, you're talking about a team now. They've lost two straight off. They looked completely out of sorts against Southampton. They looked almost disinterested. And then the Manchester derby, I did feel for them a bit. I didn't think they were on form. I don't want to get into a debate about it, but I did think the whole Marcus Rashford goal was an absolute nonsense. But, hey, they are where they are. They've lost two games. You just know, don't you? You just know that is not going to be the case tonight. At home, have the last two been away? Yeah, they have
away to Southampton and Man United.
Yeah, you just know tonight. Chike, I can absolutely put the link in the chat. I'll put the link in. If anyone does want to come on, we're gonna go till about 6:30, and I might continue to call it 7 if Henry jumps off at 6:30. But come on, I have strict rules. I must see your face. You must have your camera on. Please, please, please don't be wandering around your living room making a cup of tea and all this kind of stuff. Just be stationary. Come on, make your point, and then I will exit you and get somebody else on. But look, there's 452 of you. We'd love to.
Don't let anyone on until you get to 200 likes.
Till we get to 200 likes. There's a good one. We're on 146 likes. Can we get 54 more likes? Can we?
You know what I think? You know what I think's going to happen tonight? We're going to get a red card as well. I've got. Do you think Kane will down tools the rest of the season?
I mean, has he picked up his tools this year? I mean, I feel like
it doesn't matter performance-wise. He's put the ball in the back of the net. He's got 15 goals.
I'm not doubting that, but this isn't the Harry Kane we've been watching for the last few years. This is not peak Harry Kane, but look what he's playing with.
Do you think the closer we get to the end of the season, the more and more talks will come out? Kane's leaving, Man United, Chelsea interested. Do you think come April, March time, he'll just think, fuck it, I can't be bothered anymore here?
Mate, I mean, it's not this March or April time. He did this at the beginning of last season, right? This isn't a new thing. I know lots of people want to put... Let's bring Chike on. Just before I come to Chike, just going to finish the conversation with Henry quickly, but big up to yourself.
Big up to you guys. Very nice to meet both of you in person.
Nice to meet you too, bro. Nice to meet you too. I'll come to you in 1 second, mate. We'll talk about Man City. Henry, with regards to Harry Kane, I think, look, at the end of the day, this is a proven goal scorer that in all competitions gets you 30 plus goals every year, right? This is a guy that has 1 year left on his contract at the end of this season. He wanted to leave. Listen, he's not blind. Everything we are seeing as fans and complaining about, the loan bids that we can't get over the line, not being able to get players out of Sporting Lisbon, watching our rivals strengthen, watching Man United and Arsenal go from behind us to like that this season. He's not stupid. Why would he sign Henry? Would you if you were him?
Well, the thing is, this exact fixture last season, there was a lot of talk on Harry Kane, and he kind of twerked for Guardiola, and let's be honest, he had a fucking great game, didn't he? He was the best player on the pitch, and Guardiola was like, okay, I need to go get a striker, and they went and bought a robot in Erling Haaland. I think Harry Kane now, I think for his perspective, he probably should have left a couple of years ago if he wanted to go and win real trophies. And Chike will probably agree. Man City, hindsight, they're probably glad they didn't get Harry Kane now because they've got Haaland. However, he needs a move for him. He can't be 30 years old without winning a single trophy. Players like Ryan Bertrand have got a Champions League medal. Alex Butler's got a Premier League medal. And a player like Harry Kane hasn't won anything. So
do you know what?
I think
want him to go, Henry.
Would say?
I want him to go.
Spurs he doesn't deserve it. We failed Harry Kane and we failed Son.
I want him to go. I want him to go. He deserves better. I don't want him. I don't want them to keep him for a year. If £100 million bid or £90 million bid comes in the window, let the man go. We'll come back to this in a minute. Chike, big up to yourself. Welcome onto the channel, mate. Are you all right?
Thank you very much. Yes, I am. And also, I just want to say we lost 3 games this season. We lost to Anfield, we lost to Man United, and we lost to Brentford. So we actually lost 3 games this season, not 2. Albeit we
no, he's talking about two in a row.
2 in a row.
Oh, okay.
2 in a row. Listen, don't worry. Listen, Spurs and the Masters had it. Listen, you've lost 2 in a row.
Yes.
Can you see in any way, shape, or form that continues into a home game against a really out of form Tottenham Hotspur, or is Pep going to have these guys fired up to close that gap on Arsenal?
I think he's going to have them fired up because very rarely do you see us lose 2 games in a row. Although I wouldn't be surprised if we drew, or even lost, because you tend to be our bogey team for whatever reason. Because of the way Spurs play, they don't have a creative midfielder like a KDB or a David Silva that will open up defenses. So to be quite honest, it really wouldn't surprise me if we drew or even lost this game. But I really think we'll win because we have to win it. Because I can't believe I'm saying this. Because if we lose this game and then Arsenal beat Man United, then we'll be 10 points behind them already. Now, I'm not saying, we can't catch up to them, but I don't want to be 10 points behind at this stage of the season, So I really think we'll win. I think we'll win 2-0, although it wouldn't surprise me if we drew or lost.
Listen, as a Spurs fan, I like to hear that. But I mean, Henry, can you see in any way, shape, or form how do Spurs win this game?
Yeah.
Well, last year we beat Man City 3-2 and then we lost to Burnley.
Right. This
is something that Tottenham do. The way the game's going to go tonight is City will either put 4, 5, 6 goals past us, which they've done before. They put 6 goals past Chelsea when Lampard was there, Aguero hat-trick. Or they will struggle. Something won't click. They'll struggle to break our back line down for some unknown reason. And we will just counter. I can see the only way we're scoring tonight is off a set piece, a corner. That's the only way. We can't pace-wise. We can't compete with their back four. We can't compete with Cancelo, Rico Lewis, Kyle Walker. Definitely not. The midfield, we won't be able to match them man for man because they're far superior.
Yeah.
But the problem is we're going to be focusing so much on Haaland in the box. Dyer and Longley or Romero and Davis, they're going to be stuck to him. It's going to leave the likes of Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, and De Bruyne free. And this goalkeeper, when you've got someone who can strike a ball like Kevin De Bruyne, who just can whip in 7 out of 10 crosses, hit the man, bang, 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 every single time, this game's only going to go one way. We're going to be coming off of here, and Man City will be... There's no better team for them to play at the moment to get confidence. Haaland hasn't scored in 3 or 4 games, whatever it is. We're now... Man City haven't won in 2 or 3 games. Who better to play for them to get confidence? You're playing one of the worst back lines in the Premier League. We haven't beaten anyone this season.
I agree. I mean, Chike, one of the things I wanted to ask you about, is Henry touched upon it there, is this Haaland thing. Now, for me, the Haaland conversation that's going around now is everything wrong with football and football fans in this era. Now, I heard this stat yesterday that he's not scored in 4 games.
Yes.
So I thought, okay, let me do my own digging. And
Sure.
when you actually look at the 4 games, he's played 2 of them.
Yes.
One of them he came on for about 20 minutes at the end of the game.
Yep.
And the other one he didn't even come off the bench.
Right.
So this kind of 4-game crisis is actually a 2-game crisis. I mean, I'd love. Can you imagine being on a 2-game crisis? Do you think he's going to rediscover, if that's the right term, his goal scoring form tonight? And why hasn't he scored for 2 games? Why is he human?
To answer to answer one of your questions, yes, he will definitely get his goal scoring back, because you are one of the worst teams defensively, which is really shocking considering you went to a Champions League final 4 years ago. And the reason why is because we have to change our entire way that we play, because having a striker, it's easier. It makes defenses play you a lot easier, because they have to worry about one person instead of a whole team. So that's why we're easier to play against now than we were last season or even 2 seasons ago.
Yeah. I mean, I tell you what, and I don't know what Henry thinks about this, but the one player I don't want to see start tonight, and obviously there's loads. I don't want to see De Bruyne or Haaland, but I don't want to see Jack Grealish play, because Jack Grealish, for me, I know a lot, again, a symptom of football fans now is they just go, but look at his stats. When I watch Jack Grealish play, the work he does off the ball, the way he drags 2 to 3 men away from him to release space for Haaland and the others.
Yes.
I look at him against whoever we play on that right-hand side, and I reckon if he does play, that is the sort of bloke that gets a Romero sent off. That is the sort of bloke who will tempt Romero in, and Romero cannot resist. Bang. What do you make of Grealish since he's been at Man City?
He's had good spouts. I mean, let's be honest. When you come to City, you have to change the way that you play. But he's been good. He's been good at times, and he hasn't been great at times. But overall, he's been decent. I can't say he's been world class, because if he was world class, he'd be getting the kind of numbers that KDB or even Bernardo Silva has. So he's been average, I think. I think the 100 million was definitely retarded. Sorry to use the R word, but it definitely was a little much in my opinion. But he is a decent player, just not a world class player. Yeah,
sure. I mean,
it takes time, doesn't it? He's gone from a big fish in a small pond to another player at Man City, and he's had to learn. Guardiola with Henry said, just stay out wide. I don't want you coming in, stay out wide. Grealish, a lot of time at Villa, would come drifting into the box, and he'd get Dean Smith would give him the freedom, the free roaming, capabilities to effectively do what he wants, because he was the star man. He's gone to a team like Man City, and Guardiola, I don't care what anyone says, he's the best manager in the world. He practically improves every single player that he coaches. He's a Grealish next season. I said this to you the other day, Savva. I think Grealish next year for Man City will be the main man. I think De Bruyne, what's he now? 31?
He'll be 32 in June.
Yeah, I think Henry, you know what I think will happen? I think this summer, and again, I'm not an expert on City, I think this summer they might lose Bernardo Silva and Gundogan just because of age, and I think Bernardo wants out. I think what you'll see then is they'll bring in Alexis McAllister, who will have a year, like what Pep does with all his players, a year to bed in, to learn how Man City play. I think Foden will pick up the Bernardo Silva central role, and I think Grealish will then get that left-sided spot to himself. Just quickly, I'd like to apologise to the whole Tottenham fan base. Free the Right Side didn't say this, but Billy Horrocks has said that my pessimism doesn't help. I'm really sorry that I have caused all the problems on the field at Tottenham Hotspur. It's not intentional. I'm so sorry. Sending good vibes tonight to Emerson Royal. And
no, you're a positive fan. That's what you need right now. And also, I'm not sure if you heard this, but in the end, I'm also into the NFL. Did you know that they're hosting a bunch of games in London this coming year? So That's just more proof that you're just becoming a laughing stock.
Mate, listen. Look, I'm going to get a ditcher on in a minute. Just before I let you go, Chike, give me your final score prediction for tonight.
Do you want my heart or do you want my actual opinion?
I like actual opinions. Heart. The problem is my heart says Spurs will win the league every year, and my head says no chance. So, what? Give me your head.
Okay, my head's saying 3-0, but deep down inside, draw.
Okay.
Deep down inside, draw. Just because you're a bogey team, you know how to play us. Conte is a world-class manager. And I'll answer this question. It was a mistake letting Gabriel Jesus leave because honestly, he really was the focal point in our team. And having him leave was really detrimental to us.
Yeah.
Big up TK for coming on as well. You're always in the chats, always giving donations. Big up to you, mate.
Big up, mate. I would say the best of luck for tonight, but I don't think you need it. So listen, we'll catch you maybe on Henry's show after the game, my man. All right?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, take care, mate.
You too.
Take care. Right, I'm going to bring on my man Aditya and see what Aditya wants to say. Let's see if he starts with an apology. Aditya, here you are, you snake, you snaky man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. You hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. How are you?
Actually, I did not know that you were on the live chat that time. I thought you had beef with Stell, so you wouldn't watch his channel. So I wrote.
Oh, I see. Oh, so you thought because I might not be watching Stell's show that you just mug me off in the chat. Good. As long as we got that clear. So what do you want to say, bro? What do you want to say before I kick you off for being a snake? What do you want to say?
Yeah, I'm just saying, what do you think about the protest this time? Will there be a good turnout? What do you think?
It's a difficult one, isn't it, Henry? Because look, as I said, and I didn't see Stell's show live, or I would have replied to you in the chat. I saw that you said, Savva's a massive hypocrite if he doesn't attend the protest. The problem is I found out about the protest 24 hours ago, and if you're going to make a protest on a Saturday morning, I need some notice. I can't just turn around and ditch my family.
It's got to be. I mean, I'm going to try to go, but it's got to be 3-4 weeks in advance to get it across all of social media, all the traction. I probably would say there'd be between 150 to 200 people. But the problem is, it's an awkward time, 10 a.m. It needs to be like 1 p.m. So we can get. What we should do is do 1 p.m. transfer deadline day and go all the way up until it closes. Because by the time it gets to 10 p.m., 11 p.m., it will be busy as anything. And you'll have the Sky Sports cameras. That's what we should do. But no one in this fan base has got a brain cell.
But even if they're going to do that, let people know, because people work, right? It's not like you can just rock up. If someone says to me today, oh, tomorrow we're all protesting, all right, I'll just let my boss know. Sorry, boss, I'm not in tomorrow because you know what? I'm protesting because I want Spurs to sign a right wing back. Do you know what I mean? It's like it doesn't quite work. But look, hats off to the Aditya. Hats off to whoever's going on Saturday. It's a start. For me, I think it needs to be. Look, it's a start. I think it needs so much to happen.
I think it should be around 500, to start with, minimum, to at least get some kind of energy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Look, I mean, look. Even if they get 100, 200 people, get some noise, get some movement. Great. The big thing for me, and Henry, I'll bring you in on this. I don't know what you think. For me, I think what it needs, some big voices, i.e., some of the bigger channels. I think it needs an expression, someone like that, to post it on his chat and go, right, everybody, to his 250,000 subscribers, right, this is happening. Who's going down there? Who's going to support? I also think what it needs, Henry, is it needs to be from within the game. Because otherwise, you've just got a lot of people that say they don't want the owners but keep paying them, right? You and I don't pay to go. I won't pay to go anymore. I can afford it. I don't want to pay. I don't want to watch this shit football, and I don't want to put money in the owners' pockets.
Yeah.
Right? But if you're going to be there, and I get it, people don't want to give their season ticket, why not have a mass exit for one game? 22 minutes in, everyone walks out. Yeah. Why couldn't
even if 50%...
What I don't get is...
Henry, one more thing. Isn't this becoming a kind of like negative for the fans because of the bigger stadium. Because it's much easier to protest and leave the stadium, give a mark on the owners that so many seats are empty in a smaller stadium. But when the seats are 60,000, so even if 5,000, 10,000 people are leaving, it's not a lot. But for a 35,000 stadium, even 5,000, 10,000 will be more significant. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I think there's a point there. What for me, what I don't understand is when you go to the ground and you'll see people, Levy out, this and that, but they're still going to the club shop, spend 200-300 quid on shirts, tickets.
Yeah.
I mean, we make between £3 and £6 million a match day, right? We make more than any team in the Premier League now. That's what we make. The North London derby last year still holds the record for the most money generated in a Premier League game, and that was nearly £9 million. From a financial standpoint, no team in the Premier League can compete with us. No team. We've got the most expensive kits. We've got the most expensive season ticket. We've got the most, the best stadium in the world. But everything from a football standpoint is awful. We've got problems everywhere. Our goalkeepers, shit. We've got no good centre-backs between them. Like, no.
Is the club stuck with these owners, like, for the next 20, 30 years? Do you think like that?
Would you say, sorry?
Like, even if there are protests here and there, but majority of the fans still buy the tickets, buy things from the club shop.
Fans
are we stuck with these owners for the next 20, 30, 40 years?
I don't think it's 20, 30 years.
Come on. It's going to get passed down to Joe Lewis's daughter, right?
Yeah, at some point, Henry, they're going to want to see a return, right? Let's be fair. The reason they've done this...
They are seeing a return, though.
No. I mean...
I think it will be used like a Ponzi scheme, don't you think so? Like, even if they leave, they will get something because of rent and everything.
Possibly. Listen, possibly. I mean, for me, listen, I know they're getting a return each year, but I mean the return of, right, we've now sold the club for 5-6 billion, having bought it for 22. I mean that chunk of cash in one go.
Nobody will pay that much for Tottenham.
I think they will, because when you look at it, we are set up right now for an American to come in. You've got the NFL deal. We've got 75% of all the NFL games in England now are going to be played at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. DAZN and Sky Sports are going to sign a deal, so all the big boxing fights are going to be at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Lady Gaga, Guns N' Roses, WizKid. Right now, someone would pay £4 or £5 billion because the amount of money you can generate.
Which would generate WizKid?
WizKid's I think he's Nigerian background.
After
American.
losing the North London derby, the club posted that WizKid is
going. The day after an embarrassing North London derby
defeat,
we announced WizKid, and this is the problem. Yeah. These owners, like today, we're talking about a magical night a year ago, and we beat Leicester. We haven't fucking signed any players.
I think that's the embarrassing thing we saw today. The tweet out from Tottenham Hotspur was this magical night, or whatever they said, from this time last year.
Embarrassing.
After losing to Manchester United, the club posted what a heroic performance from the captain, Lloris. Something like that.
Yeah,
game.
That's what they do.
And then people liked it.
Stephanie, I'm going to give
people liked that.
Just quickly, Stephanie, I'm going to give you that as a free shot, right? Any more talk like that, I won't just temporarily remove you. I will block you completely. I don't know WizKid. I'm 40 years of age. I have no idea what music he sings. I don't know what genre he is. I don't know his background. How would I know How would I know this? Grow up. People have got to grow up a little bit. Right. I mean, Aditya, just before I let you go, I'm going to bring in people one by one. Anything else you want to say about Spurs? Any apologies you want to make?
I've already done that. On comment section.
I'm joking. Don't worry. I put a post on my YouTube about you last night, mugging you off back. So don't worry about it.
Sure.
Don't worry about it.
Thank you. Thank you for the platform, both of you. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
No worries at all, mate.
Listen, Aditya, take care, bro. I'll see you soon. All right.
Sure.
See you, mate. Bye-bye. Yeah, so apparently now you can be racist even if you don't know who someone is. I mean, this is brilliant. What a world we live in. When people are saying, by the way, sorry, never heard of WizKid. I mean, am I the only one that doesn't know him? Does anyone else Does anyone know who this is? Sorry. Anyway, George Raffis wants to come on and make a point. George, how you doing, my man?
I'm all good. How are you?
I'm not too bad, thanks, mate. I'm not too bad. I hope you're holding up well.
Yeah, it's been a bit stressful the last couple of weeks. Trying to organise, but the funeral, but it's all part of it, I suppose. But
absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Well, listen, message me privately about that. Otherwise, you'll get people asking questions. What do you want to say? I'm gonna get people on, let them have their say, and then get people off. So, what is it that you wanted to come on and say, bro?
I'm just really nervous about tonight, to be honest. I think we are in for a mauling tonight, and I don't know if with Tottenham at the minute. I'm just not disappointed or shocked anymore. Like, I feel like the Arsenal game, because my whole family's Arsenal, believe it or not. And I was saying to them, I said, I'm just not confident with this Tottenham team at the moment. I'm just really worried about the club at the minute. Like, I just see nothing. There's nothing to hang on to. Like last season, you sort of had Son, who was sort of like hanging on to the golden boot, and something. It was kind of a bit like there was something. But this season, there's absolutely nothing. Like, there's been nothing all season for Tottenham fans to get on board with. And I think these protests, I was going to agree with Henry, to be fair. That thing about transfer deadline day, that's actually a brilliant idea, to be fair. Like, because there will be Sky Sports will be there and everything.
All the reporters will be there, all the cameras will be there, but everything's just rushed. If you said now, right, you've got 12 days.
Yeah.
If you can get down there, there's a little bit more notice than just a week.
Yeah, because I live in between Northampton and Birmingham. I'm a season ticket holder, and I only found out about the protest about 4 days ago. And it takes me, with trains and stuff, it takes me a couple of hours to get down there as well. So I'd love to protest, but it's a lot difficult for me as well because I travel so far. But after the Arsenal game, I left at 55 minutes because I was just embarrassed. Like, we were just in there getting laughed at, and it was embarrassing. So I think I'm with Savva and with you two now. I think after today, I'm just going to sell my tickets. I think at least get some money for myself back, then go and watch it. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah, I mean, it's a difficult one, guys, because look, I completely get it, right? I get it. If you've got a season ticket, you're not going to give it up. But what I would say is, don't go. If you've got a season ticket, don't go and don't give your ticket to anyone else if you're that bothered by it. This is for me the compromise. If you still continue to go and you're buying drinks at the stadium and you're buying food and your programs, and it's really difficult to then empathize with those people if you choose to go. Right, I would happily go. I prefer, like, people say to me, "Oh, we're not in the 90s." I'd much rather watch Spurs in the 90s than watch Spurs now. I've never seen us so lackluster, so lack of ideas and lack of direction as this club. But yeah, it's a strange one. And I don't know if you guys saw, but there was pictures at halftime of the Arsenal game. The second half of the Arsenal game, and the number of people that hadn't returned to their seats.
I didn't. I left at 55 minutes, 60 minutes, because you just knew the game was over. But the
thing is, George, there were people watching it in the forecourt, and I'm thinking, isn't that counterproductive? Because you're now drinking in the forecourt area, like you're actively putting money into their pockets.
Yeah.
So it's a tough one, but listen, for me, as I said, I won't spend another penny with them. If people choose to keep going, I mean, that's up to them. Henry, what do you make of that, mate? I mean, it's a difficult one, right? If you've got a season ticket, you've already paid. But if you had a season ticket right now, would you still go to every game?
Not every game, no. I'd go to a lot of the big games. But it's difficult because when it's match day, you're fucking buzzing. You know, it's football day. You get up. You've got a different sort of vibe about yourself. You're walking down to the train station or to the bus stop, or you're driving. You're thinking, fucking hell, the boys are on today.
Couple cans.
Yeah, you get in the boozer, or if you don't drink, you have whatever. You know, everyone's fucking singing songs, and then you watch that absolute shit. You come out feeling like someone's died. That you feel awful. You feel like you feel like you've split up with your missus. It's awful. Like, I remember walking out when we lost 7-2 to Bayern Munich. I was thinking, I've just paid 75, 80, 90 quid a ticket to watch Nabry, an ex-Arsenal player, run all over us.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, why am I doing this? I've been to every European game besides Frankfurt that we've been in at home in the last 10 years that I could go to. And I've been to most of the games. And I'm thinking, I got to the point and I was like, why am I doing this?
Yeah. Mate, listen, I agree.
It's about 100 quid because you get up there, you have something to eat, you have a few beers. You know, before you got to spend 30 quid on a fucking sausage roll at the ground. Right? It's just a joke.
I only went to one European game, and that was the Marseille game, the very first game. And then after that, because for me to come down midweek, I don't get home till gone midnight. And obviously I was waiting for a season ticket for so long, and now I got one, and now it's just like, I don't even want to go anymore. And I think that's very sad.
Don't get rid of your ticket though. Wait until.
Well, no, I'm not going to. I waited a few years to get one. So I'm definitely not going to get rid of it, but
I agree with this, guys. Just one game, surely. An empty stadium would send shockwaves. The problem is, I question, and again, it's really difficult because this YouTube community isn't the entire Tottenham community, right? And that's what we've always got to remember.
We're a small little dot.
Right, exactly. So is there a way of knowing how many people, if this was spread around? By the way, Jack, if you're backstage without the cameraman, I'm not letting anyone on without a camera. People, I'm putting the link in the chat box. If you want to come on, please do. Please continue to like the stream. We are one away. We're on 202 likes. Let's get that up. And I am 87 subscribers away now from the 3,000. If we can make that happen in this show, I'll be eternally grateful. Please smash that subscribe, help me get to 3K, and subscribe to Henry's channel. Just before I let you go, George, anything else you want to say?
No, just wanted to come on. I wanted to come on Sunday and rant because I was on the train home, but obviously I missed it. But yeah, it sucks at the minute to be a Tottenham fan, I think. But yeah, I think we'll lose heavily tonight. I've just got a horrible feeling. I think we might get because as well, it's very rare that City lose 2 on the bounce. So at some point, someone's going to get a hiding off them. And I think...
Do you know if we win tonight, we'd be the first team in Pep Guardiola's managerial career to beat him 3 times in a row. If we beat him tonight, sorry.
Yeah.
That's our trophy. There you go. Take that. Put that in the stadium. Beat Guardiola 3 times.
Listen, we're going to let you go, mate. So I've got a few people in the background. So let's see what they're saying.
Cheers, guys.
No worries, mate. We'll speak soon, George. Take care, brother. Right.
Take care, mate.
I'm going to bring the next 3 guys on. Have a little round robin really, really quickly. So add into the stream. We have got Sam, Jack, and Condino.
Yeah, Condino. Yeah.
Condino. Guys, first of all, any of you ENIC or LEVY in? Please make my day. Anyone?
I'm a City fan.
Oh, you're a Man City fan.
Yeah.
You're not telling he's got a blue top on.
I'd really see, mate.
No, Argentina shirt. Argentina.
He's got his Argentina shirt.
I was on Henry's channel before. Do you know?
You were
on the Spurs corner.
I jumped on.
Okay, welcome back.
Mate, well, listen, welcome to you. Right, who wants to kick us off? Talk to me. Tottenham transfers, tonight's game. Have a rant, have a moan, do it, and then bugger off. Who wants to start?
Up to you guys.
I'll go.
Go on, Jack.
Personally, I'm not watching because if it doesn't mean anything to me anymore. If we win, it's a loss because we've got the 3 points, but you'll have the same happy clappers that'll be, buzzing. Oh, Tottenham's not finished. Where will we leave the outers, etc., right? All that rubbish. Yeah. If we lose, we lose. So again, that's not great. I think with the ticket thing, going back to the tickets, if you've got like a season ticket, I don't think you should get rid of it because you can still not go, right? If you've got a season ticket, it means you've got a seat. So you choose whether that seat is full, right? But we've seen that the waiting list is over 130,000.
132,000 now.
So if you've got power, in my opinion, if you've got that season ticket,
agreed,
and you decide not to go, that's an empty seat that could have been filled by someone else more gullible than you. So don't go. If you've got a season ticket, use it wisely and don't go, right?
Yeah.
Just question quickly. Just a question.
Yeah.
What percentage of our fan base do you think are Levy out?
I don't. It's not big. I think it's getting bigger. I think this season,
I would say it's about 25%.
Yeah, I've heard it's not all that. I think it looks big on Twitter and on YouTube, where you've got all us lot that are making noise, make it look quite big. I think, but I think in reality we're a lot smaller than we think we are, and I think that's one of the things I'd love to organise something to get like a proper protest going, but it's definitely going to be harder. It's going to be easier said than done. I think we should do something online, like an online protest, because everyone can attend an online protest, right? You can sit in the comfort of your home and protest online and do something.
We need someone to like do so. Well, I'm not saying to do this, but the worst way to hit them would be in their pockets.
This is what I'm saying. I said last night to Savva, I said if someone almost makes like, if we get like a YouTube channel going, and the only thing it's there for is LEVY and ENIC out. It's not to argue about the football or like NFL or anything like that. It's literally one question. It's, are you LEVY and ENIC out? If yes, subscribe to this YouTube channel and you're now part of the community, right? It's nothing else to do with Spurs. That's the only focus. We have to reunite as a fan base and say, like, right, you've got to put your differences aside almost. We've all got our own opinions about everything to do with the football. Conte, should he be here? The players. It's not. This can't be about that anymore. It's literally got to be down to one thing.
You know what, Jack? I do agree with you in the most part, because I think one thing that we mustn't do is, I see a lot of people now that are that are ENIC and LEVY out. But what they'll then do is they want to go one step further and then start blaming you for other things.
Yeah.
So, for example, when I was getting slagged off massively last night in a chat of a YouTube channel, it was, Savva can't really be ENIC and LEVY out because he doesn't like Conte. And it's things like that where you think that's fragmented. My opinion of Conte doesn't change that I've been ENIC and LEVY out for 15 years, Jack. It's not about this moment in time. Just before I come back to you, Jack, I want to come to. I'll come to you in a minute, Sam. But Condinho, thanks for coming on as a City fan. When you hear all of this type of conversation from Tottenham Hotspur fans, coming from a club where you win and you win and you win, and you watch the best footballer known in the world, you've got the best manager, and you've got strikers like Erling Haaland. When you look at this, do you look at us and laugh, or do you look and think those poor?
I do laugh. Apart from when we face you guys,
of course,
I'm
laugh.
Confident. Of course, I'm not confident when it comes to playing you guys. I'm never confident.
You're the only fan. You're the only fan that will say that, because everyone else.
Never confident. I'm never confident. I even sometimes contemplate, what's the point of me wasting 90 minutes of my life? We're not. Pep always overthinks it. Always overthinks it against them. Against you guys, sorry.
Do you think? What do you reckon the score will be tonight then?
We look awful. There's nothing. I think.
Mate, you look awful. Fucking hell.
No,
you want to see us, mate?
I've made the bet with my Arsenal uncle. If Arsenal win the league, I have to quit watching football altogether. I have to stop altogether. Like, I have to stop.
Look, dude, let me tell you something. No matter how bad you feel it might be with Pep overthinking, honestly, until you have supported Tottenham Hotspur for a while, mate, we're going to have. There's not 1% of me that goes, yeah, to be fair, he's right. We look at you and think we'd love a charity shield.
I know where I'd rather be.
I think the problem is, in general, with all due respect, I don't think protests actually change anything. They really don't make a difference in all walks of life. They don't make a difference. They really don't.
So looking at it from this way, right? We've got the most expensive season to get in Europe at the moment, right? We get charged the earth for anything, 75 quid for a shirt when we're 10 or 15 pounds more than everyone else. We're not signing any players, but then as soon as it's February the 2nd, and we announce a new British record for the amount of money the club have generated, what do we do if we can't protest? Like,
I think I know it's not realistic, but squat in the stadium. Literally, just don't leave the stadium. Just sleep there. Just stay there.
Just fucking sleep in the ground. Yes, Savva, I'm not going to be in work tomorrow, mate. I'm going to fucking stay at the Etihad.
We're having a sleepover. We're having a sleepover. Listen, Daniel Levy, if there was a sleepover at the Tottenham Stadium, he'd open up all of the kiosks and get as much money as he could from selling beer and snacks. Mate, listen, at the end of the day, trust me, this is your idea of a blip that you've lost 2 games in a row. But Pep's overthinking it. I'd love to be in your position. But
this is what I've heard from football fans in general. You want your owners out, but then you want ethics and morality and ethical moral owner. I'm an Iraqi Arab, and I get slandered with the stuff that I've been getting. I said, look, Sheikh Mansour's an awful person, but I'm not thankful for what he's done for the club. I'm Arab. What can I do? I can't do nothing about the owner.
I think that's the thing, right? When people talk to me about, there was this whole thing that the PSG owners wanted to buy Spurs, and oh my God, their money's dirty. Look at the ethos in their country, and you're like, well, hang on. First and foremost, if those owners are going to buy Tottenham, me, Savva, as a fan, I don't have a say. Let's be real. Exactly, I don't have a say. So whether I agree with what happens in that country or not is a completely irrelevant thing. Secondly, we've talked about it loads of times before. There are no squeaky clean billionaires, right? All of them are billionaires because they know how to manipulate. They know how to, they know how to play the system. They know where to put their money. None of it is squeaky clean. So when fans say to me, oh, I want success, but I just want to do it the right way. What does that mean anymore?
No such thing. Look, if you have ethics and morality, don't watch football. Don't follow football. Because if you have any ethics or morality, you would probably be trapped in your home not interacting with most of the things and the stuff that you use and watch. You wouldn't. Yeah. Would you?
Absolutely. Sam, let's come to you quickly, mate. Spurs fan, I'm guessing.
United fan.
United fan.
I was on Spurs corner. Do you know?
He was on Sunday.
Dude, I can't remember yesterday. I'm still sleep deprived from the 24-hour stream. I've missed the whole sleep that I can't keep up from. What do you want to say, Drew?
Savva Henry, I've just realized something, and I think this just makes sense from the beginning. Daniel Levy, when he goes into a transfer market, I've just realized this so much now. Sometimes he has a plan, but if he's number one targets, if he doesn't get them, he's clueless. He has no idea what to do. He has no plan B. Yeah. And you can just see it. It's clear to see. This, who is this guy now? On the right wing back from Sporting.
Pedro Porro.
Yeah, exactly. Just look what he does. He's trying to manipulate Sporting to agree with his deal. It's like, listen, bro, just pay the money or go. Like, it's a release clause. Like, do you know on
it's not a negotiation, is it, Sam? It's not a.
No, it's not. But the thing is,
this guy's got 5 years left. Let's have a chat. How much could it be? It is. We want X, and Daniel Levy goes, but what if we pay Y or Z? And they're going, no, Daniel, we want X.
The reason why these release clauses happen, right? It's how often do you see a release clause in the Premier League? It's one every 4,000 players.
The Grealish one is the hidden one.
Because there's so much money in the Premier League compared to other leagues. Spain, every Barcelona player is at a fucking billion because they know it gives the club financial security over their player. So if you don't want to pay, look at Erling Haaland, right? Man City, 56 million, done. Job done. He's on a flight.
Can I just interject?
We're fucking around with 30 million.
Do you know why we got Haaland? Because our sporting director is a release clause merchant. He cannot negotiate for a packet of crisps or a car boot sale. He can only do release clauses. That's what he can do. I slate him all the time.
Yeah, but look at I'll tell you now. I've got a theory.
He's not done a bad
theory.
But in recent times, he's had a little bit of a couple of blunders. Like, I think it was a big mistake selling Zinchenko and not getting a left back when we have some awful left back who's mediocre from Anderlecht.
I'd snap your hand off for him.
Listen,
I would snap your hand off for anybody.
I'll tell you what.
again.
I'll trade you Perisic, and we'll have Gomez.
Yeah.
I would do that. I would do that. Generally, I would.
Coutinho, do you know what? I can listen. I'm going to say this, right? We've just met tonight, right? We've not met before.
I watch your content all the time, by the way.
Listen, big up to yourself. And I know I sound like a magician about to do a trick and trying to convince the crowd that I've never met you and you're not a stooge. But listen, bro, do you know what you sound like? You sound like when I was growing up, right? And like there were kids like me who had to beg and borrow and steal to get the new Nintendo, right? And you're the kid that down there, he already had the next Nintendo that was out because he had all the money. That's what you sound like right now as a Man City fan going, oh, this bum from Anderlecht, how many times you've seen this bum from Anderlecht play?
Your first car was a Range Rover.
You got a red
card.
You what, sorry? But listen, the guy's hardly played. And look,
true.
Listen, you might have
Look, if Cancelo plays tonight, I don't know. I think he's done. I really do think he's done. He looks so exposed.
He's not a fullback. He's not a fullback. Technically, he's one of the best players in the league.
He
he's
can't
not a fullback.
defend.
He's a right
No,
winger.
he can't
I classify
defend.
him as a winger. I classify
Put him in
Cancelo
centre
as a winger.
midfield. Put him in centre mid. Why not? Fucking give him
but
Trent. It's exactly the same as Trent. Technically, Trent is fucking levels. But he can't
look,
defend.
not a
I have the same
defender.
energy for Trent. Look, Cancelo and Trent are the worst fullbacks defensively. If you cannot defend, you're not a fullback. I'm sorry. You're not a fullback.
I can think of
Honestly,
he's
I can
not
make
alive.
three-
Watch
He isn't
Chicken
alive.
Royale. Watch Chicken Royale, and then you'll see what the fucking worst is. He's not even a footballer. He's a social experiment. Some fucking twat
He is.
from Peru has given him a Brazilian passport, told him he's Brazilian. He's fucking doing shitty little TikTok dances. Like, how about start fucking putting tackle in, you prick? Oh, he's so shit.
I generally believe we don't have any apart from Rico Lewis. I don't think our fullbacks are up to the levels that we.
Your academy, right?
Listen.
No, I'm not even lying. No. I'll tell you why.
Hang on.
Because
Hang on. Hang on.
Carl
Can
Walker
we-
gets
hang on.
spun. Carl
Can-
Walker
can-
hardly
take a second?
available and gets spun.
Dude, right? I feel like you feel like you phoned up Arsenal. Sorry, you've called into an Arsenal YouTube channel where they have got really good players.
No.
We have got Emerson Royale, Jed Spence, and Doherty. And on the other side, we've got Ben Davis and Ryan Sessegnon.
But
My
this
man,
is the same
listen.
team that was last season, right? It's the same team as last season that done the double over us.
No, mate, listen. I don't feel like you've been watching Spurs. This is not the same team that did the double over you. I'll tell you what. Let's have a friendly bet. Are you worried about tonight?
Yeah, I am really worried.
Okay,
I
I'll
am
tell you
really.
what. Here's
I
what
want
we
to
do.
jump on. I want to jump on this.
All right. Here's what we do. Here's what we
Whatever
do.
Savage gives you, I'll give you double.
Here's what we do.
I can't bet because I'm religious. Sorry, but
Oh, here we go.
no,
Look, here we go.
I'm serious. I'm a religious Muslim. I can't bet.
Okay. I'll tell you what I'll do. If Spurs win, there's no bet either way. I'm just saying this. If Spurs win,
I'll donate a super chat. I'll donate a super chat if you win. I'll donate a super chat.
Here's what I was going to say. If Spurs win, if Spurs win, I will donate £100 to the charity of your choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
If Spurs win or lose, sorry.
If Spurs win, right?
Okay.
If Man City win, you have to do a £20 super chat, and I'll put it straight into the British Heart Foundation fundraising page. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, that's fine.
Listen, I really wish who in the chat has got Coutinho's belief in this Tottenham team to go and beat Man City tonight. Like,
I just said I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, I would be. I will be on Henry's channel later going, I can't believe it.
You know, this is the nickname I have. Look, there's a guy, I don't know if you know him, Have Hope, and I agree with him.
Have hope.
Kane
Jesus,
is a
that
human
guy.
tree trunk. Kane is a human tree trunk. Kane is a human tree trunk. Look, my dad's a Liverpool fan and I'm a City fan. I don't see what's so special about Kane. With all due respect, I really don't.
Oh, mate, come on.
So you don't rate Kane? You don't rate?
No, I
That's
don't
our
like Kane, honestly.
That's
I
our
really
one
don't.
straw that we get to hold on to. That's our one straw as a Spurs
I
fan
was
we get
so
to hold
happy
on
we didn't
to.
get him.
Don't
I
you
was
dare
so
take that
happy we
away
didn't
from
get him.
us.
I was so happy we didn't get him.
I would
The
take him in a
jewel-
heartbeat.
The jewel in our crown, and he's the one player you've gone, I don't understand Harry Kane. I don't know what you see in him. I mean,
Savva, I would take him.
you would.
Yeah, I would take Kane. I would.
I'd hope everyone would.
I think every Premier League club would take Harry Kane, wouldn't they? I can't think of one club that wouldn't need
No. Apparently, City won't. Apparently, this guy's saying he won't.
I wouldn't. I was over the moon we didn't get him.
You don't need him.
Go
You don't
silly.
need
No,
him.
I swear to God. I would
But do you
so
think
happy
if he
to
goes to United, he wins the league?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do not deserve all of these league titles, but Man City, you do not deserve them. You're so ungrateful. Unbelievable.
You think right? Man City are probably the only team in the league who don't need him.
Yeah,
Like, we've looked for everyone's 11. They don't need him.
wingers. We need wingers.
You've got creativity, fucking Gundogan, Bernardo, De Bruyne, Grealish, Foden.
The problem is we are midfield FC and we're coached by a midfielder. We're just basically midfield FC. Our midfielders, our fullbacks play like midfielders.
Mate,
We play
we
like
ain't even
Midfield
got
FC are
midfielders.
doing pretty well.
Midfield, we ain't even got midfielders. Our midfielders are dog shit.
Our goalkeeper is a midfielder. Our goalkeeper is a midfielder.
Do you know what?
He's still better than our keeper.
Hang on, Henry. Just quickly, Nicoy, I'm going to bring you in 1 second, my mate. Listen, just quickly before I do that, I always come on here and I go, you know what? I bet you there's no Man City fans out there ever calling out their manager and they're all happy. And there's this side going, we're midfield FC.
I'm not saying he's. I don't want him out. No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that, but I just. He does have a couple of blunders.
Read the room. We haven't won anything for 15 years. You've won 4 of the last 5 Premier League titles.
Well,
Yeah, it's madness.
Nicoy, am I pronouncing that right, Nicoy? Is that the way?
Yes, you're pronouncing that right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate. I can hear you. Who do you support first and foremost?
Made the mistake of supporting Tottenham.
The mistake. What do you want to say about Tottenham at the moment?
Like, what do you think of the transfer policy is at Tottenham? What's your views on it?
What do we think the transfer policy at Tottenham is?
There ain't one.
There isn't one.
There ain't a policy.
I believe that what we do is we wait for players. I think we wait for players' agents to let the kind of transfer community know that the player is available if a price can be met. I don't believe we have actual targets. I don't believe we do, because we get to January and you're thinking, right, if we've got transfer targets, first week of the window, go and slap down your bid. The transfer committee, who is what the chief scout, director of football, Antonio Conte, Daniel Levy, all of these recruitment analysts, they'll be sitting around for months going, right, what do we need? Who have we scouted? Who bang, that's who we're going to go and put in a bid for. What's the probability of getting the guy, right? And Tottenham don't do any of that. We wait.
Savva, there's no plan. There's no plan, Savva.
There's no plan.
So, like,
There's nothing.
There's no
obviously-
plan. Then what we
so
do is
obviously this club, like, far as I can see, this club do bargains by, right? So we just sit and wait for the cheapest player in that position we can find and do a bargain bid. And then we try to do a bargain that take the whole transfer window, like as we do it with Poro, like we have identified like that's the player we want, right?
Yeah.
So why are we still waiting? If that's the player we want, if Poro the player we want, right? Like why are we still waiting on it and doing low ball bidding and all of that when there's obviously a clause in there?
Look, my man, listen, there's no, just quickly, Henry, I know you need to jump off. Listen, go get yourself some food. You've got a long night of streaming ahead of you.
Henry, I'll come and watch you, all right? When you do the
Yeah,
watch
no worries.
live.
I'm going live in an hour, so if you're going to jump over and yeah, I'll see you then. But
Yeah,
Savva,
please.
Yeah, I always support you, man. You know that.
no worries.
Henry,
Savva,
do me
I'll
a
see you in an
favor.
hour, yeah?
Henry,
Yeah.
put the link to your stream in the chat when you jump off. Put the link to your stream in here, yeah?
Yeah, no worries. I'll put it in a private chat so you can post it if you want.
Yeah, do that, mate. That's
All
cool.
right, mate, I'll see you soon. Cheers,
See you
guys.
in
See you
an
later,
hour.
Henry.
Look, honestly,
Savva,
guys,
Savva, also one more thing. I have a question for you. What in Spurs now inspires you? What inspires you anymore? There's nothing anymore this Savva. It's gone. Everything is gone now. For inspiration, there's nothing there.
Oh, come on. We've got Wizkid performing at the stadium. Does that not inspire? Come on.
no, I'm racist and don't know who he is. So I mean,
course.
you've got to deal with it.
Tottenham right now is a business, not a football club.
Yeah,
not. It's literally not.
I've said it
It's
for a
a
long
football
time.
club only for the,
Yeah, but
the fans.
what
right?
inspires you anymore? Nothing.
Look, hang on, just quickly, nothing. I'm going to let a few people go in a second because I want to bring Daniel on, and then I am going to stop in 8 minutes because I do need to eat, and then I'm streaming with Henry, and then I'm streaming with Henry later on tonight. And in somewhere in the middle, I'll try and watch Spurs try and play some football. Look, I've said it for a long time, guys. That's all I asked for. I know as a Spurs fan, I know that I'm not going to see trophy after trophy after trophy. I've come to peace with that. I'm not agree. When people say I'm ungrateful, I'm not. I get that. I'm not going to see trophies. All I ask is that there's a clear plan detailed out. And I've not seen that for 15, 20 years under these owners. It's been hit and miss with managers. Every manager after the manager before is a different ethos, which means you're buying different players. There's no continuity in style. There's no continuity in the transfer market. There's no continuity in the age of the players we're buying. I don't know what we're doing. And
There's nothing, Savva. There's nothing.
Of course there isn't. Of course there isn't.
Us fans, we're not getting anything for our money. Obviously, we're not getting anything for our money.
No, absolutely. But look, I'll say it again. Look, they, as much as I hate them, they haven't lied. This is the horrible thing. They came in, they told us this isn't about football, this is about finance. They've now been here 22 years, built an absolute cash cow of a stadium. Why would they leave? Look, I get it in 3 or 4 years, but right now, why are they leaving? They've built the stadium. We've all come through the pandemic. They're now starting to see the rewards of Lady Gaga, Stone Roses, Guns N' Roses, AJ, Fury, all these people fighting the NFL. They've done exactly what they said they do. And it's only now, this is the problem. It's only now that they've built it that a lot of the fan base is now getting on board with, oh my God, they haven't built this for the club. They've built it for themselves.
Exactly.
I don't know if I'm right in that. Guys, listen, I'm gonna Jack, Condino, and Sam. I'm gonna ask you guys to jump off. If that's all right.
No problem.
Yeah, no problem.
With Daniel, we'll be back later on.
Take care, mate. Take care, Savva.
No worries.
Cheers, Dad. Thanks for having me on.
Take care.
No worries, mate. No worries. Daniel, big up to yourself. How are you, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm not bad, Joe.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Just before I come to you, guys and girls, we're 80 subscribers away from the magical 3K. Help me get there. There's 430 of you. I'm sure you've not all subscribed. Help me get there. Please smash that button. And once I get to 3K, I'll give away a free Spurs shirt with whichever player you want on the back of it. Daniel, what do you want to say, my man?
Well, I want us to start buying some players, but then I think, well, what are we buying them for? Who are we buying them for? It's a bit of a complicated one, isn't it, really, at the moment?
Right. And
I can't believe we're still...
Why we're not signing players? Is it because of the Conte scenario?
No, because I just think it's because they're tight. I think that'd be an easy excuse. I just think we've always done this, like waited to the end of January. Like the summer were probably the first time we actually bought players early on. So I don't think that could be one of the reasons. But I think even if Conte had committed, I don't think they'd have been chucking a load of money at him regardless.
Yeah,
I don't think that's
the worry. I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? So I said something earlier. And look, guys, we're going to go for another 5 or 6 minutes. And if you see me putting a link in the chat, that link now is to Henry's watch along at 7:30. It is not to come on here. I think the thing is, Daniel, you get some people saying, well, I get it. I get why we're not buying players because they do not want to buy Conte players for when Conte's not here. The flip side to that is obviously, well, hang on. We just need good players, whether they're Conte players or not. And I suppose there's an argument to be had for both sides of that coin.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's that difficult to buy better than what we've already got in certain positions. That's the thing. Like, we know Pedro Porro is going to be a massive upgrade. I ain't seen much of him, but you can tell from what I've seen, he's better than, for Emerson Royal and Doherty and Jed Spence. It's going to be an upgrade. So I'm sure if another manager does come in, which there probably is going to be in the summer, I can't imagine whoever it is going to object to that. They're going to take that out there because it'll be the best right back they have. So it's not really losing anything.
Do you think some of that might be, though, that, look, I don't think it should be this, by the way. I'm just asking questions. Could it be that he is a right wing back, not a right back? And they're maybe thinking, well, hang on, what if a new manager comes in that doesn't want to play wing backs? And I'm praying the next manager does not play wing backs. I can't stand 5 defenders and 2 defensive midfielders on a pitch. But could it be that they're saying, well, hang on, we don't want a wing back because what if we come away from that?
I'd say it's probably a 80% chance that they will play a back 4, whoever it is. Probably, how many teams do play wing backs? Is less than what play normal right back, surely, isn't it? So
yeah. But
if he's if he's as good as what this, I'm sure he can play right back as well. Surely, if they are going to buy him, they must have scouted that he can play this position as well. Surely you wouldn't commit. Like being how tight we are for we're not going to chuck 40 million euros at some what's only going to be till the end of the season. They're not that stupid, surely.
Well, I mean, this must be why we're looking at loans. When you think about it, we've tried to get. I mean, look. First of all, we tried to buy Trossard for 11-12 million, which is an absolute joke. Very good footballer. Listen, I'm not saying. I always caveat my answers, right, because people hold it against you, especially when you're live every day and people love to bring things up. I'm not saying he would have been my first choice for a player because I feel we need wing backs and centre backs. But at 20 million, I think we could have got him when we've got players like Brian Hill and Lucas Moura? Yeah, I do.
No risk.
Absolutely. And yet Arsenal down the road have gone, 20 million plus 7 million in add-ons? Done. No messing about. Quickly, I've got a couple of minutes, mate. Let's talk about tonight. What are you feeling about tonight? Are you fearing the worst, or do you think there could be an upset?
What I've been talking about at work today, Matt, my kind of feeling is we're going to take the lead but lose 2-1. I don't know why. I've just got a feeling it's going to go like that we're actually going to start well, score, but... Start
well? When did we last start well?
I know. This sounds like the complete opposite to what we are, but I always think before a game, I kind of think how it's going to plan out. And the Arsenal game kind of went exactly how I thought it were going to go. I knew we'd start bad. It were obvious. I said to my dad while I watched it, I goes, you do realise this is going to be terrible this first half. I'll be happy if we get in 1-0 down at half time. That's what I was hoping. But then the Odegaard goal happened and then boom, it's game over.
And let's be fair, that if the party shot had gone in, then that would have been in all sorts of trouble. This is the last point I want to make. This for me is the overriding thing that I don't think Spurs fans talk about enough. When we talk about back Conte, the plan for the club, and if he wants to be here and he wants to build, let's be really honest, right? And even the hardest of Conte supporters must acknowledge this. Both sides must have agreed a really short 18-month contract for a reason. Right? They must have. Otherwise, who does that?
I always thought, though, if it had gone well, I thought he was going to sign a new contract in the summer because it couldn't have gone any better in that short period of last season. For where we were, it couldn't have gone any better, really. And I thought, right, in the summer, the sensible thing to take all the speculation away, he either stays or he goes. It can't be just, it's the same contract. It's a farce, isn't it? It's stupid. It makes no sense. But you could kind of tell, though, the way that summer window went. I said, I was arguing with my dad all summer. I was saying, this window has been poor. I don't rate it. There's no way. I don't think he wanted Basuma. I just think it were a good price and it were an option.
I agree. I agree. I agree. The thing is, at Tottenham, we never know who is the thing is, the problem we create as our fans ourselves is when a player works out, i.e. Kulusevski, we say, the manager wanted him. When they don't work out, it's the manager didn't want this player. So it becomes really difficult to blur that line of who was wanted and who wasn't. Just quickly, I am going to wrap the show up, but just quickly, S-Way said, thank you so much for the super chat. Said, there is nothing unethical about selling your natural resources that are extracted from your soil. It's like shaming a farmer for selling his produce. I'm not going to get into that debate right now, but thank you so much for that. And Georgia says, cheers for letting me on, mate. Might come on Henry's channel after this if there is space. So listen, I am going to end it there. I do need to go and get myself some dinner. Dan, I'm going to put you off the show, but in the nicest possible way.
Thanks for having me.
No worries, mate.
Cheers.
Always welcome. Guys and girls, I'm going to put a link into the chat. This is for Henry's watch along. Please, if you can, please get over and watch him 7:30. I'll join him at 7:30. I'm going to join him for half an hour. Then I'm going to watch the game, and then I'll join him after the game. Look, try and enjoy it as best as you can. I'll make one more plea. Guys, we are now 60. No, that's terrible. That's 77 subscribers away from the 3,000. If everybody who hasn't subscribed, please do. It really does mean the world. There's 356 of you in here. Please, if you all go over just right now, make a concerted effort. Please, please, please smash that subscribe. Smash the like button. We're on 266 likes. Let's get that to 300. And once again, much love. Go over to Henry's show at 7:30. I'll see you all there. And come on, you Spurs. And let's just hope it's not embarrassing tonight. Take care, everyone. And as always, ENIC and LEVY out.